Welcome back mga summoners. Of course, I'm Jay and right now with me is of course our friend Mraken TV. He'll be joining me for the second game between Manila Eagles versus Team Pacific. So for those just tuning in, game one was won by the Manila Eagles in a very strong victory. Would you like to tell me a little bit about the first game?
The first game was just a dominating performance by the Manila Aguilas. So you could see the Twisted Fate just had so much CC, just added so much CC to that team. After the Lulu CC, you had the Cogmouth CC, then you had the Braum Ultimate. The opposing team just could not do anything against that CC, and then you bring out so much damage from Cogmouth late game. It was just such a dominating performance by the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with you. Manila Eagles did a really good job in that game. They were able to outplay Pacific. I think Lee Sin on Misery was not very effective. You saw he saw score at the end of the game 0-9-5. He didn't prove as much as impact as you would have expected a Lee Sin to do in a game like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Lee Sin was very effective because he was able to exert that pressure early on. I think maybe if he camped to bot, just like the Twisted Fate did, for example, and I think that if he was able to do that, then maybe he'd get the Tristana rolling, get some kills, and maybe we'll be able to counter that Cogmount late game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Alright, so the game is about to start. Of course, this time we're going to have Manila Eagles on the blue side and Team Pacific on the red side. Let's proceed to our pick and ban phase. Alright, so again, Manila Eagles on the blue side, they will have the first ban in this game. A while ago, the first champ picked up by Team Pacific was the Lee Sin, right? To counter Manila Eagles hate. We know Manila Eagles hate to be very proficient on that Lee Sin. So I don't think it was the smartest choice from Pacific. And maybe their gameplay was, they were unsure of what they really wanted to pick, especially their last champion. They ended up going for the Oriana. They were thinking of picking up Yasuo to counter Manila Eagles, but Manila Eagles did not go for the Yasuo anyway. So at the end of the day, it was not such a bad idea for Team Pacific. Alright, so bats are going quite quickly here. Manila Eagles banning out two champions already, Syndra and Elise, while Pacific banning out Braum and Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and I think that Twisted Fate ban is a very critical ban. You can see last game the impact Twisted Fate has on the game, especially when you pull out the red card for the damage and you bring out the yellow card for the CC. It's just such a powerful mechanic there, and especially when he brings out his ultimate and just exerts that global pressure throughout the map, it just becomes a very powerful character.
Yeah, you can see Team Pacific are banning out the Braum and Twisted Fate. They don't want Manila Eagles to have those champions once again. Manila Eagles banning out three ability powered champions here, Syndra, Elise, and Evelyn. Of course, Elise and Evelyn are strong junglers in this meta right now. We see a lot of teams picking up the champions. Syndra, of course, is a very strong mid laner as well. Not allowing 5-2-8 to pick this up is a smart choice as well from Manila Eagles. Yes, and the last ban coming up from Team Pacific is the kill. Definitely another nice ban coming out. Lulu is available. First pick again, no surprise here, is the Lulu.
Yeah, that Lulu pick was just so powerful last game. See, even throughout all the PGS games, Lulu is just such a strong team fighter. When she comes into the team fight, just so powerful when it comes into the ultimate and the CC. Lulu right now is just such a strong pick top lane because she can do well in lane and do very well in team fights.
Yeah, what's really surprising to me is that no one bans out Lulu. We've only seen like one Lulu ban so far this season, and I think Lulu right now in the PGS has a 100% pick and ban rate right now, either pick or ban, especially by the blue side. First pick Lulu is way too common. A while ago, Pacific trying to play a little bit smarter, they're doing the Lee Sin pickup instead of the Lulu, and they ended up paying for it.
I think right now with this game, this is basically game theory here. So do you choose to ban Lulu, but taking out the possibility that you get Lulu while giving your opponent the possibility of picking up Lulu? Or do you hope that you ban her and you just clear out of the game? But I think that Lulu's impact on the game for your team is just too powerful to ban her out.
Yes, alright, so Manila Eagles picking up very comfortable champions here. Everybody has picked up everything they want. They've got the Lulu, the Lee Sin, and the Lucian, all very strong champions, even at the early game. So this is gonna give Pacific a lot of pressure as early as the game starts. I think Manila Eagles might even go for the Thresh pickup here. Coming on the Pacific side, they already locked in the Jarvan, the Gragas, and the Nami here. So the only thing left for Pacific here is the two carries. They're gonna pick up their AD carry now. They're considering picking up Graves. They switched around to Yasuo here, and they even lock it in. So looking at the lineup, yes, they do have knockoff from every champion here. Jarvan with his the Martian standard combo. We've got the ultimate coming from Gragas. the ultimate and the bubble coming from Nami, and of course Yasuo has his own knockup as well.
I think it would be a huge mistake to pick up Graves right now because Graves right now does not fare well in the meta and in general. But against Lucian, that's not a good matchup because you have Graves Burst versus a Lucian Burst. Lucian will win that trade because of how well Lucian mixes in with the support. Especially if they pick up Thresh here. That Thresh engage plus the Lucian Burst will just be unstoppable against Graves.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Manila Eagles would have went with Braum because Braum and Lucian do synergize awesomely together. But looks like Manila Eagles will have to opt for another option here. They went for the Zyra. This is something that TG loved to use before. It's been a while since we've seen him pick it up. Not a bad option to disengage from the members of Team Pacific.
Very unconventional pick with the Zyra. I thought the Thresh would have worked better, but as we said before, he works really well with the Zyra. So we could see some new changes right now with the Zyra Lucian pick. We could see maybe a possible rotation. Again, Lucian's such a strong champion in rotating their lanes. So you can see that Zyra pick, I think that might actually turn out well for them.
Yeah, actually, Chuck will most likely be using the Jace here in the mid lane. He used to love using Jace in the mid lane. Of course, Jace did fall out of flavor in the recent patches, but is starting to pick up once again with all the new item changes, allowing Jace to become really powerful once again. Not so surprising to see Jace once again hitting the rift this time around. Of course, Pacific looks like will go with the Graves. They haven't really they've been showing the Graves since or earlier a while ago, and they're basically letting the counter come down all the way to the last second. So looks like Graves will be the AD carry. The matchup in the bottom lane will be quite interesting. I still favor that Manila Eagles have a stronger lineup in the laning phase. Everybody can definitely outtrade everybody in the opposing side. Probably the biggest challenge here will be the Jace against the Yasuo. Yasuo can definitely avoid a lot of those kill shots with his dash through the minions and easily harass Jace if he plays it right.
I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup, but again, Jace is just so powerful in this meta right now because of the Essence Reaver. I think Jace is the only champion who actually consistently runs Essence Reaver. Just about how powerful it blends in with his kit. So I think that Jace could put in some poke here against Yasuo. Again, Yasuo, even with his shield, still does not fare well against some huge poke, especially in lane. So I think Jace could do fairly well against Yasuo.
Yes, just to let everybody know, of course, we're using our local client here, 4.10 patch. 4.11 is just around the corner. There will be quite some big changes coming in the 4.11, so we'll have to see how that will affect the game as the game progresses. I mean, the tournament as it progresses. Now, of course, Manila Eagles picking up one win. If they pick up a second victory, this will definitely secure them the first spot in the PGS. So far, Manila Eagles this season have looked unstoppable. They haven't dropped a single game to any team. They've already beaten heavy favorites, even IPT, which were expected to actually at least even out the series. Now, the game's gonna start very soon, but while we're waiting, let's talk about our sponsors, our GameX from our sponsor. Now, of course, all you summoners at home, if you want to purchase, we do have a lot of skin sales every week. And of course, we also have mystery gifting. If you want to purchase RP, one of the best ways to purchase RP right now is through GameX. Now, how do you do this? All you have to do is first go to the GameX website, which is www.gamex.ph, then select the game that you're playing, which of course we all love, League of Legends. You'll select the game League of Legends, and then choose the EPIN amount and click Add to Cart. Once that's been done, all you have to do is go to the shopping cart and click Checkout. It will prompt to enter your mobile number, and all you have to do is enter your mobile number. Of course, it has to be either Smart, Token Text, or Sun Cellular. And then after you submit that, a verification code will appear. Send that verification code to 3161, and once that's been confirmed and you have sufficient amount of load, you will receive your EPIN that will be sent to you directly. So that's simple to purchase load from your house or anywhere for that matter if there's no way for you to purchase Garena shells. Alright, so aside from that, we also have the Watch and Win today. Are you familiar with the Watch and Win?
Yeah, definitely. I think the watch and win allows people at home who like to watch games to also get a 4-win IP boost. This is very critical, especially to new players. You get that 4-win IP boost, you unlock that champion that you really want so much faster.
Yes, that's right. So to do this, all you have to do, once you've already copied the code from the game client, of course, it will appear randomly as the game progresses. All you have to do is go to open your LOL client, click on the shop, and then on the shop, on the bottom left tab, there is a codes button. Click on that tab, and then it will ask you to enter your code. Enter your code there, and click submit, and you'll automatically receive the code. Now, the code is only valid for, there will be several codes, but each code is only valid for one player. So, unahan lang siya. So, first person who puts in the codes will receive the 4-win IB boost. That's simple. Alright, so let's take a look. The game will be starting very soon. Aside from that, I'd also like to thank our sponsors, of course. Of course, Smart for GameX as well, and Razer for our gaming peripherals, our keyboard, mouse, and our headsets that we're using right now, and of course, Philips for our monitors. So thank you again to our sponsors, and I'd like to personally thank, of course, Trippy Custom for my apparel. Of course, this hoodie is from them. Thank you very much again, once again. All right, so the game will be starting very shortly. Looking at the lineup, what are your predictions for this game?
I don't think it's gonna look so specific with that Graves pick. I mean, even though Graves is stronger right now with the Bloodthirster changes, because of that shield that it gives him that blends so this passive, I still don't think Graves is a very viable pick in this meta, especially when Lucian is gonna be able to just bully him early with just his better range. Right now, Graves' main weakness is that his the main weakness of Graves is that his range is just so weak compared to everybody else. Even Lucian outscales him both in power and in range. So Lucian right now early on can just poke him hard, and then after he comes in for the exchange, he can just outburst Graves. That's just very critical.
Yeah, there was some changes to Graves a few patches ago where they increased his ultimate, which allows him to spike a little bit earlier. But of course, he needs a lot of protection to execute his full combo, especially against a lineup like Zyra. Zyra, of course, has a lot of disengage, which will give Graves a much more difficult time to land those skill shots that are very critical for them to pick up the win. So right now we're looking at the standings right now. As you can see here, Team Diamond is still in the head. Right now, Manila Eagles have picked up another victory, tying them with Team Diamond. Of course, Manila Eagles are only playing 5 games, while Team Diamond have already played a total of 8 games. War Gods right now is sitting right behind Manila Eagles with 2 games played and earning 3 points for themselves. Mineski playing 4 games as well, have only earned 1 point, and IPT and Pacific still with no points earned this season. So IPT and Pacific still have a long, long way to go if they want to catch up with the rest of the leaders in the bracket. All right, so let's proceed to summary. The game has started. We're looking at the side right now of Manila Eagles on the blue side, while Team Pacific is on the purple side or on the red side.
Now it's gonna be interesting if you can see some early invades here. That Lee Sin pick could give them the flexibility to go for that early invade, but I don't think that's critical right now. I think what they should do is just get to lane early, just protect their buffs, and just play this lane properly.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you there. Alright, so looks like Manila Eagles are signaling for the red buff. We know Lee Sin likes to normally, it's very common for Lee Sin to go to invade the red buff of the opposing team here. And this is exactly what happened a while ago, where Manila Eagles also knew that Lee Sin will probably go for the red buff. That's why they went for a very hard engage in the red buff of Team Pacific.
But I don't think it's really necessary, especially with how strong their champions are in lane. Yeah, that Lucian Zyra pick down in bottom lane, I think that fares very well against the Graves Nami pick. So I think they should just lane properly here. I don't think there should be any issue.
That's right. Okay, so game on. Let's take a look at how this game plays out. So far, no invades coming from Manila Eagles. Manila Eagles look like they might even have a lane swap here, looking at where the AD carry and the support is located right now. But I don't think this is actually optimal for Manila Eagles. Like you said, the laning phase of Manila Eagles should be superior to Team Pacific, so it wouldn't really give them any clear advantage if they do proceed to pick up or go for that lane swap. Of course, if Lulu does go face with Graves and Nam here, she should have no problem surviving here. She could easily farm under her turret, and this would probably even benefit Team Pacific a little bit to allow Graves to properly farm his Bloodthirster quite fast.
Yeah, I don't think that would be. I think it would actually be a smart idea for Pacific to switch up, because against Lucian and Zyra, I don't think that's a very favorable matchup for Graves. So allowing Graves to just get that early farm going and get his Bloodthirster possibly allows him to get that spike so much earlier and allows him to just play fairly well against the team fights, for example.
Alright, so red buff has been taken by Manila Eagles Hate here. Of course, the lane swap will push through for Manila Eagles. You can see here Zyra, in the minimap, Zyra and Lucian are in the top lane. Chalk and 5280 exchanging a lot of blows here. Chalk has to use his first spot of the game. He actually went for a Doran's blade. Some races like to go for the flask and pick up a lot of pots, but since he's going against a melee champion, he decided to go for the more aggressive Doran's blade.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good choice for him, because he can just outpoke Yasuo at this point, especially because Yasuo is a melee champion, while Jace can switch between his range and melee at will. So right now, I think that switch at top, so you put Lucian and Zyra top, I think that actually goes very well for Pacific. Because
Manila Eagles are planning for a 4-man push in the top lane, that's why they went for the lane swap. Now, Team Pacific are not, I don't think, are as well versed on the 4 lane meta right now, so normally most 4 lanes would do the counter, do a mirror and try to pick up an early dragon, but as you can see here, Manila Eagles will have no problem picking up this first turret. Nobody from Team Pacific is nowhere near them to stop them, and in fact, I have a funny feeling that Manila Eagles might even go for a second tower if things go right for them.
I think it's very dangerous for Pacific to allow this to happen. Because when you have 4 people top pushing and taking a turret, you want to make sure you take advantage of that.
First blood going to Jace here. Mystery trying to come in for a gang. I think he will pick up the return. He does have the red buff and will pick up that return kill. So Shotty actually is in the top lane on the Jarvan, has no choice but to stick around in the jungle here, but since he has no smite and isn't built for the jungle, he takes a lot of damage from his first camp and has to go back to base right after that.
Now Pacific needs to start taking advantage of the fact that there's 4 people up top. They gotta start either pushing bot or mid. Right now they're just getting out-pushed because they're allowing this 4-man push for nothing basically. They're just allowing it to go on safely. And right now they're trying to counter this and trying to defend it. But while this is happening, you'd think that they should allow Graves to push this one, and he is, and I think that's good, and allow Graves to farm.
Yeah, Pacific did respond quite well this time around. They did stop the second tower from going down, but it is a little bit too late actually, because the Manila Eagles can just simply go back down to base, be happy with that first tower and the first blood they've already picked up, and continue to push the gold lead they've already accumulated. And this also allows them to actually contest the dragon if they go to the, since they have, you can see here, Yuke's actually going down straight to the bottom lane on the Lulu, with the other 2 members, the AD carry and support, following quite shortly. Lee Sin picks up his own blue buff. Jace would have liked to use that, probably he will receive the second buff later on. But with this rotation coming from Manila Eagles, they will probably have no problem picking up the dragon if all go plays right in their favor.
And I think it was such a good strategy because you allow now Lulu to go up against Graves. I mean, Lulu's just gonna farm for days under her tower, and it's gonna be so good because then you have Lucian in a solo lane potentially, and Lucian getting farmed up. Lucian is gonna outscale Graves at the end of the day. And if you allow Lucian to get a late game along with Graves, Lucian's just gonna outburst Graves, even though Graves isn't bursting champion. I mean, it's just such a bad matchup for Graves.
Yeah, alright, so we just saw Emily Chalk going down to 3 members of Team Pacific. Actually, it's quite funny because everybody was giving up the kill, nobody was taking the kill, and Chalk was already accepting his death. He didn't even run away anymore, but at the end of the day, of course, Pacific still pick up that second kill, tying the goals now actually even to both teams here. Looking at the laning has actually sort of like gone back to the normal laning phase. You can see Jarvan is trying to catch up in CS here. He's actually ahead of Lulu now in terms of CS. They're getting a lot of alone time there at the top lane. In the bottom lane, Graves does have a slight advantage in CS here, so we'll have to see how this game plays out. You see Mystery camping the bottom lane, probably gonna try to engage here. Uses body slam, does not connect with any of the members of Team Manila Eagles. CG catching Mystery there with that grasping roots here. EXO trying to go a little bit over aggressive here onto the grave there. A nice bubble landing. Hako doing a really good job of picking up several of those bubbles so far in this game. Emily EXO taking a lot of damage there. BYY flash being used by CG there, and they will disengage from that.
Graves right now is just...
Whoa!
Yeah, again, here's the problem with Graves. You get outranged by Lucian, so after you put in that initial burst in and just chunk out their health, once they come back and you're on cooldown, then you just die, just because of how squishy you are early game, because your passive still hasn't gotten time to make your resist bigger yet. And early game, after you're in cooldown, and when Lucian comes in, it's just gonna outburst you and kill you.
Yeah, and just like I predicted, first dragon will go to Manila Eagles. That rotation did work out for them. Of course, Pacific did have their saving grace of picking up that kill on Chalk here. A body slam being used, a flash coming out from a nice grass coming from TG there. One member of Pacific goes down here, and actually 5283 using the plant of Zyra to dash in, but not enough for him to catch up with the rest of the members of Manila Eagles.
Again, I think another really strong part about Zyra is that she's so unorthodox and so unplayed right now that when she uses her skills, you're not very familiar with her cooldowns, you're not very familiar with her animations. That really allows you to catch your opponents off guard.
Yeah, I have to say though, TG using the SKT skin of Zyra, I think it's one of the best skins that Zyra has right now here. Alright, Emily Chalk doing some, gonna probably farm this minion under the turret. Jarvan actually starting to pull ahead of Lulu here. You can see the CS is heavily in favor for Jarvan here. he did get a lot of alone time as the 4-man push is being done by Manila Eagles in the top lane.
But this isn't so bad for Lulu, really, because Lulu doesn't need that CS to really have a huge impact in teamfights. Lulu's impact is really in her utility during teamfights. She has her CC and she has her ultimate, and that really is enough for Lulu. So as long as Lulu doesn't fall off too much in terms of CS, it should be okay.
Yes, that's right. Alright, so Jarvan probably will try to make a big impact with that teleport. He has his teleport up here. Our game has been paused quite. Probably somebody may have some connection issues. Hopefully they can resolve that right away. Looking at the score right now, you can see here that Manila Eagles with the Dragon in the last 2 kills in the Dragon area put them ahead here quite comfortably. About more than 2,000 gold lead in their favor. CS wise though, Pacific does have the advantage in the top and the bottom lane and the mid lane quite slightly. Of course, the jungler of Manila Eagles has been doing really well in this game, unlike the Lee Sin that we saw from Misery a while ago. So far, he's picked up 1 kill and 1 assist, no deaths yet, doing a really good job on that Lee Sin.
Again, the weakness of the 4-man rotation, I mean the 4-man versus 0 in the top lane rotation, is that you won't get as much CS as the other team. You're allowing the other team to farm up. But again, they took the tower and they took the early dragon. That was definitely worth it.
A summoner has reconnected.
Alright, so Team Pacific, a few disconnections there, and they are reconnecting back into the game. Looking at the items right now, Graves looks like he is rushing probably an IE, since he did pick up a pickaxe. Maybe even an Essence Reaver, but I wouldn't expect that to come out from him.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't think that Graves is the kind of champion to pick an Essence Reaver. Maybe Corki, maybe even Kog'Maw, but definitely not Graves. And I don't even think Essence Reaver is that good of an item right now. Even with the 4.11 changes, which were of course in 4.10, even with the potential 4.11 changes, I don't think Essence Reaver is that good of an item.
Whoa, a 3-man grasp there, and oh, 2 kills picked up by Team Pacific. A good move coming from them. They did catch both members of Manila Eagles out of position there. Even with a nice effort coming from TG, it just wasn't enough to stop the burst damage that the whole team there. Everything was used actually there by Team Pacific to pick up that kill. So definitely closing down the kill lead of Manila Eagles quite down there. Not as much global pressure comes from the mid lane of Manila Eagles since there is no teleport, or of course TF is not being used this time around. Hate doing a lot of damage. Misery has to be a little bit careful. Hate also has to be careful since there are 3 members here. A kickback, and yes, a perfect combo coming from Manila Eagles. Hate here on that team, allowing him to pick up that kill.
I thought that was a mistake early on by Lucian and Zyro of how they got caught out there. They were trying to fight that gank. They should not have done it. I think they should have just backed away and allowed themselves to just take a hold of their lead that they have right now and just farm out. They didn't have to be aggressive towards that gank because they can't win that. I mean, either way it's still 3v2 or 4v2. So they should have just backed away from that and allowed their other teammates to just come down bot lane and counter them.
Yes, that's right. Alright, so back in the mid lane, Yux actually has joined Chalk here in the mid lane, trying to make sure that actually Yasuo's quite a strong pusher since his cooldowns on his skills are quite low. He can dash, he can use his Q to really pick up a lot of minions quite quickly, and of course the knockout which does additional more damage here. Manila Eagles bottom lane now try to work on that tower in the bottom lane. A bubble not landing this time around on any member of Manila Eagles, so they did lower the tower down to about 1/3 HP right now, and EXO taking a lot of return damage coming from Pacific side.
Again, that's where you see Lucian's poke ability. Usually Lucian is not the type of champion to poke just because his burst is so strong. But against Graves, who has strong burst but very limited range, Lucian just can use his Q and his Ardent Blaze to just outpoke Graves, and that's what you're seeing right now. And right now you can see that Pacific is getting out-pushed. Even with their Yasuo, who could potentially run a static shift, you can see a lot of players running static shift on Yasuo because of his amazing pushing ability. He can reach towers because he can push waves so fast. But even then, they're getting out-pushed. That's just because of how effective the 4-man versus 0 strategy of the rotation that they did a while ago. That rotation really allowed them to out-push lanes later on and take that early dragon. So again, that was a very effective strategy.
Yeah, a lot of poke damage being taken by Misery there on that Gragas there. Teleport coming in from Emily Yux here. I don't think that was probably the smartest play there. Chalk was actually quite safe and they weren't able to pick up any kills for that. They are going to allow them to apply more pressure on the middle tower. You can see Jarvan on the mini-map is trying to join. A big flash coming here from the bottom lane. EXO picking up the kill on Hakao there. The fish goes down. Lee Sin gets killed by Pacific BYY in return. So 1-in-1 exchange, quite good exchange for both teams here. But since now VOI is all alone, this will allow Manila Eagles an engage coming from Chok here. 5-2-8-3 is in a bit of trouble. A knock ultimate being used on Lulu Wild Growth. I don't think 5-2-8-3 has anywhere to go. Here comes Shotty with the knock up. Oh, nice knockback coming from Chok there, picking up the kill on Yasu here. Mystery coming in a little bit late here. Jace doing a lot of damage, but they will not go on for another kill.
Really good mechanics from them there. You can see how they kited so well in that team fight. Even though Jarvan was able to pull him his Cataclysm, they're still able to back away while still inflicting some damage. Really good team fight, I think, for Pacific and for MLE.
Yeah, Manila Eagles still are doing really well since the first game. Pacific is starting to pick up in this game. You can see here the game is not as landslide as it was a while ago here. But it's still a very long game. Anything can happen here. Really depends on the next few team fights who will dictate the pace of this game.
Yeah, I think that you can see how it looks so easy to land those bubbles from Nami, but really in reality you can see Nami will probably miss a few of them later in the game, just because of how difficult it is to hit those bubbles. Pro players make it look easy, but really there's some lag time once you start to hit those bubbles, so it's making it look way easier than it really is.
Yeah, I have to say though, almost everybody who's picked up Nami in the PGS have done quite well on her. So I would say that it's probably one of the more proficient champions that the PGS teams are good at in terms of support. Alright, so Manila Eagles going for the Dragon again. Very dangerous position for them, this 3 versus 4 here. And they're trapped inside the Dragon Pit here. Ultimate being used. Lulu is here to join them. Wild Growth is still down, I think. No, it's been used by Emily Hate. Emily Hate does flash out. EXO not picking up the kill. Oh! Manila Eagles TG using the passive of Zyra to pick up that kill on Mystery. It turns out pretty good for Manila Eagles. Dragon is picked up once again. And wow, that was something I thought Manila Eagles would have been in a lot of trouble, but somehow they're able to turn it around.
I thought that in the end that was a bad call, despite them coming out on top of that trade. I think that definitely Pacific wasn't doing so well in that trade, but still though, Manila Eagles, that was a bad call. You allow yourself to get into a position where you're taking Dragon while someone else ganks you while doing Dragon Meat. That's not a good call at all. But so they're able to use their lead right now to be able to win that team fight. And again, Lulu using her ultimate is just so critical.
That's right. Alright, so for those who are watching, the watch and win codes are available on the screen right now. Don't forget, all you have to do is open your LOL clients, go to the shop, and click on the codes tab at the bottom left. And then we'll ask you to enter the code there and put them in. Unahan lang yan, sir. So first one to enter it will receive the 4-win IP boost. So good luck to all summoners who are going to pick up those wins.
And Yasuo with a static shift again. He's going to take advantage of his pushing ability and his ability to wave clear with that static shift. So I think right now Pacific is realizing that they're getting outpushed. And they've already lost a tower. And they've already lost 2 towers to the one tower that they've taken. So that Yasuo pick that allowed them to use static shift and allow them to push waves faster will definitely come in handy here.
Yes, alright, Manila Eagles actually did pick up the second tower for themselves in the mid lane. That's actually a very critical tower in the game. This gives Manila Eagles their advantage to go even further. Actually, this bottom tower is pretty close from going down here. The ultimate of Lucian is up here. I wouldn't be surprised if he used it quite soon here. Shock trying to out mechanically play shots there, still gets landed by most of the skill shots of Jarvan here, and uses Virgin's ultimate. TG probably will go down here. Doesn't really have anywhere to go here. Uses his ultimate, knocks out all 3 members here. Let's see if TG can escape. Ultimate being burned by TG, and there we saw the ultimate coming from Grave, picking up the kill on Zyra. So good trade coming from Pacific, picking up another kill for themselves. Chalk will be joining EXO here, including Emily Hate here. Ultimate being used by Nami. I think it's not a smart choice for them. They do engage here. BYY will pick up the kill here. Let's see if Emily Hate can do some better damage. BYY out moving on to Lee Sin here. Lee Sin has to back away. And a kill. Oh, he survived there. Finally, 5-8 picking up the kill. And a knockout from Chalk. 2 more hits. He will go down. Mystery versus Chalk. It's going to be a very dangerous fight. And whoa! Chalk picking up that kill once again.
Again, what looked like that Nami ultimate was a very good decision and allowed him to just engage hard. In the end, right now, since MLE has a decent amount of lead, has 4k in lead in fact, that their champions just have much better items, and that much better items lead to them dealing out such strong damage. And again, Graves is so weak in teamfights because after he puts out his initial burst, while in cooldown, he just gets outbursted by everybody else. And everybody's just gonna deal damage on him, and he's just gonna die after that.
Yes, alright, so just a moment ago we saw Jarvan teleporting to the bottom lane to stop Jace or Chalk here from pushing the bottom lane. So again, Lulu will get to catch up on CS here in the top lane. Try to shove those minions onto Jarvan's tower. Jarvan, aside from so far he's only impacted about one team fight really hard here. Other than that, he hasn't really performed that well here. He does have 1-1-1. Lulu also not picking up any kills yet. Kind of struggling also as well, but has not done so bad. She was able to save several members a while ago with her ultimate.
I didn't think that the Manila Eagles really needed to get that turret right there. They should have just let that turret push itself out, because you see Lucian would do really well with more farm. Lucian's just really powerful once he gets to the mid to the late game. So mid game Lucian, when farmed up, is just so powerful. They should have just let Lucian stay bot lane, farm that out, and let that tower stay there so that the Pacific would be forced to go bot lane and protect that tower, while they could just have Lucian just farm it all day.
Yeah, you can see the movement speed of Jace here is actually affecting Latest. Nice ultimate being used by Graves. A knockout back by Joe has no way of escaping here. Cataclysm blocking him in, and of course the kill was picked up by Graves this time around. So Jace getting a little bit over aggressive there, getting trapped in the jungle near the tower in the mid lane. Bad positioning coming from Jace there. He did put up a good fight though, but not enough to pick up a kill for himself.
Man, that was Jace just thinking that he was stronger than he really was. And after Jarvan used that Cataclysm, it was over for him. Jarvan really has that strong utility in his ultimate, but unfortunately it's in a bit of a long cooldown.
Yeah, alright, so back in the mid lane. Most members of Pacific are recalling, yes, everybody from Pacific will recall back to base. Manila Eagles do pick up a few more items. Looking at the CS right now, Jarvan has a significant CS advantage over Lulu here, and has finally picked up a kill for himself as well. In the jungle side, we're looking at the CS. Lycian is dominating right now, also in terms of kills and stats, picking up 424 over the 247 of Gragas here with only 53 minions. In the mid lane, it's pretty even if you ask me. Of course, Jace is winning in terms of kills here. And in the bottom lane, Lucian is actually struggling a little bit. Graves does have his infinity edge, allowing him to do a little bit more burst damage to Lucian in the early part of the game.
Again, a bit odd pick with the IE there. I think I see a lot of pros right now picking up either Bloodthirster on Graves. Again, Graves is not a very common pick, but a lot of them pick up Bloodthirster on Graves just because of the shield, or they pick up either a static chip to push. And I think that this unorthodox Graves pick allows him to just experiment, and just picking up IE, I guess, allows him to put down that burst much stronger and gives him that power spike earlier. But in the end, I think late game, he's still going to be very weak in team fights, so I think he should take advantage of his ability to just push Graves. So I think that the Graves pick would have been smarter if he chose a static chip, for example, and just pushed the Graves, or a Bloodthirster for the shield.
Yeah, so engage on the TG here. TG does go down. EXO actually dashing away, avoiding the bubble. Teleport being used by Yuki here. Misery going back in again. I don't know why he's doing that. But counter engage coming from Team Pacific. Looks like Pacific might win this team fight here. You can see Emily Hate trying to escape here. A lot of members down from Manila Eagles. Only one member left, and yes, they finally ace Manila Eagles. This is actually the most important team fight for Pacific as they turn the game around, picking up another dragon for themselves.
What an absolutely amazing ultimate from Nami there. That tidal wave really turned out that team fight in their favor and allowed them to get that dragon. After they hit that tidal wave, that CC and knockup from Pacific really allowed Graves to utilize his burst and burst 3 people down. And that's just how you utilize Graves. And I think they're playing Graves decently right now, but I still think they chose the wrong item with Graves.
Alright, so definitely a big turnaround for Team Pacific. Actually, a big gold lead has been lost by Manila Eagles because of that team fight and the dragon here. Pacific actually leading in gold for the first time significantly in the game. It's actually about more than 1.5k gold advantage in their favor here. Manila Eagles' strategy is starting to falter a little bit here. All their early advantages has been reduced already or removed already by Team Pacific. Manila Eagles have to play it a little bit more smart here. I think this probably started when Emily Chong got caught a while ago in the mid lane, allowing them to allow Pacific to start to snowball a little bit harder. And right now, Pacific is playing quite smart right now, allowing them to pick up more advantages here. The tower almost going down in top lane, but Lulu does respond to stop Jarvan from pushing the top lane.
I think with that team fight, Pacific right now is just doing so much better than they were before, because with that team fight now it's so much more even. And going into the late game, none of their champions really outskill each other as hard as they did last game. You see, last game they had champions that didn't do so well in the late game, but right now I think they'd go even. And it would really come down to who executes their ultimates and who executes their team fighting abilities better. So for example, if Nami hits her tidal wave again, a very critical tidal wave as you saw a while ago, if she hits that perfectly again, I think Pacific has a good shot of winning this one.
Yeah, 2 wards being placed down there, but I think that's a slight mistake there. pink ward finally spotted. Actually, two members of Pacific just walked past it. They were walking outside the brush there. Haka will pick up that ward there. Everybody rotating the top on Pacific side here. Manila Eagles are on the defensive now. They don't really have any tanks right now. You can see here that Lee Sin is starting to build a little bit more tankier. They're really relying a lot on the poke of Shock before they engage here and hoping that they can engage quite hard well. And because since their engage coming from Manila Eagles can be easily countered by the lineup of Pacific with all the knockups, allowing them to easily pick up a kill with Manila Eagles. The team fighting of Team Pacific looks like they are a little bit superior compared to Manila Eagles at this point in time.
Again, that was such a bad choice by them to build more tank than they did, because despite them having a very strong full composition, they're still getting outbeat in teamfights like you're seeing right now. They're just losing in teamfights, especially after those tidal waves. Very critical in those teamfights. And right now, Pacific is getting outbursted.
Yes, and you can see here Manila Eagles turning that fight around. Yasu is teleporting back to base. I think he might get spotted here. Jace probably will try to slow him down. He does not land it. Looks like Baron will be attempted by Manila Eagles. This is actually an optimal chance for them to do it. Putting down that ward is actually a bad choice here. Oh, Emily Hate almost gonna pick up the kill. Yes, he will. One more hit and does pick up the kill. The Smiter is out of the Baron pit right now. He'll have to come back there to join the rest of the team. I do believe his smite is still up here. And yes, actually, last hit done by EXO here. Baron buff for Manila Eagles. Another turnaround once again, this time for Manila Eagles, allowing them to pick up the goal lead once again, giving them a nice comfortable 2k gold lead.
Very back and forth game right now, and after Manila Eagles took that Baron, once they recall and get their items back, they have that Baron buff, which would really put them in huge favor in terms of team fights. So they should right now force a push and force a team fight, and then after they get into a team fight, Nami's ultimate is still in cooldown. So when they force a team fight, they're just gonna win that, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, and good thing, I was about to say EXO I think should probably go back to base and start buying some items and healing up so that they can start engaging while they still have the Baron buff still up. This is definitely in favor for them right now. A pink ward being spotted out by Hako once again. Hako actually, I think is the third pink ward he's already cleared out, so doing a really good job of controlling the map in terms of vision here for Team Pacific.
And right now, it's very critical that Lucian goes back to base and get his yaw moves. Once he gets his yaw moves, his ultimate's going to do so much more damage. See, Lucian getting yaw moves allows his ultimate to just put out a lot more burst. And that's going to be really big for him in team fights. So they should right now have Lucian recall, build his yaw moves, complete his yaw moves, and force a team fight. And once they force a team fight, after they have Baron buff, that's just going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, actually, I think he already bought an item. I think he may have bought the page instead of completing Yosmut. As you can see here right now, his gold is still only at 1-5 right now, so he doesn't have enough to complete that item. Ultimate being used by Jarvan here, and engage. Finally, he's going to get knocked off here. Ultimate by Lulu allows them to counter engage. Nami using that bubble landing on 3 members of Manila Eagles. Still Manila Eagles somehow coming on top of that team fight. Lucian doing a lot of damage to Gragas, getting slowed down by the red buff. A kill being picked up. You can hear Emily doing so much damage on that Lee Sin. A really very proficient champion on Lee Sin. And this is the reason why Pacific picked up Lee Sin a while ago, because they can't deal with the Lee Sin of Emily Hate. And this time around, going for a really strong composition, but still Emily Hate doing really well on that Lee Sin, allowing Manila Eagles to win that team fight once again.
Again, when we thought that it would a huge turnaround for Pacific after they got Dragon, Emily just comes back and takes Baron, and that buff really allowed him to secure that team fight despite such key ultimates from Jarvan. I think that Jarvan ultimate was a mistake by him, because when he used that Cataclysm, he not only trapped 2 members inside the Cataclysm, but also himself. So really, he just secured his death by using that Cataclysm.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like Pacific has to somehow formulate a strategy to stop synergy coming from Team Manila Eagles. Manila Eagles coming out really strong in the team fight. Uh-oh, Emily Hate is in a bad position here. He will get caught out by Team Pacific 5-80. You can hear ultimate, everything being used by 5-80 here. I don't think Emily Hate will escape this. He will probably go, oh, he was able to jump over to the ward. Still being chased down here. Exhaust finally being used. I think he'll go down. Yes, ultimate being now. Oh, almost getting away there, but a lot of ultimates being burned by Team Pacific there. So Manila Eagles still have Baron buff here. Dragon being done by Team Pacific. It will probably be the second Dragon of the game if they can pick it up before EXO gets there. Yes, I think they should have no problem picking up. Yes, Dragon is being smited out by Mystery here. 4 members of Team Pacific are in a bad position here. Calling being used by EXO here on the Lucian here. Lulu getting knocked up by Jarvan here. And the ultimate by Hakao being used here. A nice wind wall to prevent any follow-up damage from Manila Eagles, but the Manila Eagles still picking up that kill on Hakao. Defensive play being done by Pacific here. They're in a lot of trouble here. I can see Glitterlance hitting 3 members of Team Pacific. Pacific is definitely in a lot of trouble right now.
I thought that Pacific really had a good shot after they took out Lee Sin. Because if Pacific, instead of just forcing that dragon, should have just instead increased the vision control, just warded the area, gone back to base, defended, and then forced team fight where it's 5v4. And 5v4, they have a chance to actually win that team fight and maybe turn the game around. But that was such a huge mistake going with Dragon, because then they got caught out by MLE, and MLE just has such a lead in items right now, they're just gonna lose team fights.
Yeah, actually Mystery I've noticed is using his ultimate quite often here. Most of his barrels don't really knock them to the position they want to. Most of the time they get stuck against a wall or tower. Yes, that's not so bad, but normally he wants them to come closer to the team so they can easily pick up the kill. But since they just get stunned to the wall because of the knock up, or the pushback rather, they end up having to chase the champion first before being killed, causing the rest of Pacific to burn more spells just to pick up another kill.
Yeah, I think that those disengages when they use Gragas, instead of using his ultimate to damage, they instead use it for accidentally disengage. So you can see this ultimate, when they use it, it instead disengages. So instead of them being able to take the damage and come in, that Gragas ultimate just puts them far away from each other and allows the other team members of MLE to escape. So I think they need to play Gragas ultimate much better right now.
That's right, alright, so Manila Eagles Baron buff has finally expired, and Baron will be up in the minute 40. A ward being placed down here by Team Pacific. They will have vision of the next Baron when it spawns here, unless Manila Eagles clears that ward out before that happens. But right now Manila Eagles aren't making any big plays right now. You can see they're all spread out on the map. You can see Lulu going to the bottom lane. I think she does have her teleport, so she can easily join the rest of Manila Eagles in the team fight. Teleport has definitely been a critical summer spell now for top lane. They like to split push often and join team fights by teleporting in. And so far, this is definitely the cooldown of teleport has a shorter range. A cooldown at the early levels if you teleport to the tower, which is also effective. Like a while ago, you saw Lulu teleporting to the top tower to make sure that he doesn't get left behind in terms of experience.
Yeah, I think teleport has so strong with top laners. Because especially if you teleport instead of your allied turret, that allows you to lower the cooldown of teleport. And teleport really allows you to have a global presence on the map. Because instantly you can go bot lane or mid lane just by using teleport.
Yeah, and you can see how powerful Lulu is. She's actually able to take out Yasuo there on a one-on-one, which is not normal. You'd expect Yasuo to easily pick off a Lulu here. But Jarvan does come in to pick up the kill for himself there. EXO trying to do some damage onto the tower. And that gateway, you can see how fast the movement of Lucian is through that gateway coming from Jade.
You'd think that they'd actually just wait out Baron buff. They'd wait out for the Baron and then try to get the Baron buff, but instead they just go and push right now. Which I don't think is such a bad idea. Because you can see that they're ahead 7k in gold. 7k in gold, and Lucian right now is so strong because he has both his Way of the Rune King and he has his Trinity Force.
Yeah,
so that means that his ult will just be so powerful in team fights.
Yes, Manila Eagles actually going really deep into that turret of Pacific there. Actually paying 2 members for that. Not so good trade coming from Pacific. They do take out the tower though. You can see here 5 to 18 trying to go for the cleanup, going too deep once again. Bubble net landing in any members of Manila Eagles. Knockout being used on Chop. Ultimate being burned as well. He'll probably go down to Yasuo. Yes, Yasuo is gonna go for the cleanup here. This is actually a good turnaround for Team Pacific now. Exhaust being used, a flash being used by Yux here. Glitterland slowing down the members of Team Pacific. I think Yux will get away from the members of Team Pacific. So, good play coming from Yux here. Excellent mechanical skills coming from both sides.
Yeah, it's such a back and forth game. Once you think that one team gets ahead, they just blow another team fight. And you see Yasuo had such a good knock up there. That tornado really allowed them to secure that kill. Such a great play from Yasuo right now.
And a ward from Manila Eagles allowing MLX to burst down Nami there, recalling on that ward. So now definitely Pacific are aware there is a ward at that location. Baron is up. I wouldn't be surprised if Manila Eagles go for a play on this right now. They actually have the big advantage here. All inhibitors are exposed for their taking right now. And minions are on the side actually of Team Pacific, although none of the minions are pushing yet into their base.
I think what Emily should do here is instead of trying to get the Baron, they should instead try to take an inhibitor. because once you take the inhibitor, that really puts a lot of pressure on their base. So when you, for example, take top inhibitor, it pushes the super minions, so just push that out and potentially take a Nexus turret, which you don't want as your Pacific. So once they take out the Nexus, once they take out the inhibitor and let the super minions push, now Pacific will be forced to defend their base against those super minions, and they can instead use that time to go take Baron. So I think they should instead try to take the inhibitor turret here.
Definitely, Emily does have that option right now, and I do think that is the smartest choice right now. Exo chasing Jarvan here, not necessary if you ask me. Emily Hate using the sweeper to clear out the ward in the Baron pit. Two members of Manila Eagles chasing down Shotty. Shotty will try to fight back here. Knocked off by Lulu here, and Galaxy is being burned here. Pacific making a play for the Baron. They do have 3 members here. Emily Hate quite good at stealing Baron. She gets caught by the bubble here. Goes in here a little bit too early here. You can see they decided not to continue. Oh, a return kill by Emily Hate. The knockoff coming from Zyra does allow him. Oh, and Emily Hate escapes from that. Chalk actually also turning it around there, picking up a kill on Graves here. The Baron actually picked up by Manila Eagles. I think this is really GG well played. As you see, all members of Manila Eagles are alive. All inhibitors are being taken down by Manila Eagles. Triple kill for Emily Chalk and Baron buff. This is game over already.
I'm pretty sure it's already GG after you see Emily steal that Baron. I mean, that was it for Pacific. I think it wasn't such a bad idea for Pacific to go for that Baron.
Yeah.
As you could see, you had Lucian and Lulu in bot lane. That was, at the very least, that's a 3v5, right? So it wasn't such a bad idea for Pacific, but when they let Baron get stolen, I mean, that's just it. That's GG. Especially now that MLE has the Baron buff. I mean, they're just gonna take this Nexus right now.
Yeah, no problem. Easy win from Manila Eagles once again. Oh, diving in there. Two members of Manila Eagles. Lucian picking up a double kill before going. Oh, did he get away from it? I think he got away from it. No, he did go down. Alright, so congratulations Manila Eagles again for another awesome victory. Unbelievable stuff from that Lee Sin. I have to say, really good job from Manila Eagles picking up another victory. This shoots them up in first place in the PGS after week 3. They do have another 2 games tomorrow, but they're safe from contestation. Even if IP somehow beats Manila Eagles in their next 2 games tomorrow, Manila Eagles are still quite safe in the top lane with 9 points ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, Emily is such a dominant performance in the PGS right now, and I don't think they could lose to IPT. I mean, if you think about it, IPT has no win so far, while Emily has just been in a path of destruction. We're winning most of their games, and you can see they're in top of the leaderboard right now. I think that's gonna stop.
I agree with you. Alright, so taking a look at the scores, I have to say this game was really good for Manila Eagles. Although Pacific had some shining moments, especially after near the dragon area where they pick up the dragon and kill Manila Eagles twice in 2 team fights. But other than that, Manila Eagles did a really good job as well of coming back to the game, even coming from behind at one point near the top when Pacific was trying to force a push in the top lane. So overall, I'd say, who would you give the MVP to in the Manila Eagles side?
I definitely give it to Emily Hate. I mean, that Baron still was it all in itself. That was just such a beautiful play by Emily Hate. You could see he was just baiting them out to chase him around instead of trying to take Baron. So once they ran around, once they were trying to chase him instead of take Baron, he was able to just wait for the perfect time and just take that Baron buff. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you can see here he built all armor here. So most of the damage coming from Pacific are on the AD. You have the Yasuo, the Jarvan, and the Graves. With all that armor, he's able to negate a lot of that damage, and because of that, he was able to survive in the Baron pit and get out and get back in just for the steal.
Yeah, it was just beautiful play by Hate there, and I think he definitely deserves an MVP for that.
Alright, so congratulations against Manila Eagles. Of course, congratulations to all the Summoners who were able to win those 4-win IP boosts from the Watch and Win. We will have another 2 games tomorrow. Let's take a look at our schedule once again before we end the night. Alright, okay, so today we had Pacific versus Manila Eagles. Tomorrow again at 5 PM we have the Manila Eagles, this time facing off with Imperial Pro Team. Of course, for another 2 games, 6 o'clock, we'll have the same game, changing sides basically. Do you have any predictions for 2 games tomorrow?
I definitely think Emily will take this. I mean, Emily right now, as we see, is just such dominating performance. I mean, they've dominated these 2 games. A little bit closer in the second game, but they've been just dominating. Emily has just been so strong right now, getting the picks that they want, and especially with that Lulu with so much utility in team fights. I mean, they're just so strong right now, and ahead in the leaderboards, as we can see.
Yes, I agree with you. Alright, so you can see Manila Eagles have played a total of 6 games. They have won every match they've gone on so far, undefeated, 9 points. And I am really impressed with their performance this season compared to last season. They've drastically improved. Their pickup of EXO from Maneski has allowed their bot lane to be much more solid, allowing them to basically bulldoze through all the teams right now. Team Diamond right now actually have a total of 8 games. They are in second place. They are quite safe from being dropped out from the top as well for the next few days at least. And the rest of the teams still have a lot of catching up to, particularly IPT and Mineski.
Yeah, I think that EXO coming in for the MLE was so critical. As you can see, the first game, EXO on Kog'Maw was just unbelievable. Such a dominating performance by EXO in that first game. Kog'Maw was just able to just deal out so much damage, just melted the faces of the last opponent.
Alright, so before we end the night, of course, I'd like to talk about GameX once again, just in case you just tuned in. Of course, GameX is a feature brought to us by Smart, one of our sponsors right now. And if ever you need to buy load or e-pins, or you can buy e-pins basically with your load through GameX. So how do you do this? All you have to do is go to the GameX website, which is www.gamex.ph, then select the game that you are playing. Of course, you have to select League of Legends correctly, so you can go to they will direct you to the League of Legends site, and then you'll get to select the amount of e-pin you want. So click the add to cart to select. After you select the e-pin amount you want, and then click the shopping cart and click check out. After you click check out, it will prompt to enter your mobile number. Please enter your mobile number. Of course, your mobile number has to be from Smart, Talk and Text, and Sun Cellular. After that, a verification code will appear. Send that verification code to 3161, and then once you've confirmed this and you have sufficient load from your mobile number, the load will be sent to you directly. Alright, so that's simple. Thank you again, Smart or GameX, for this wonderful feature. We'd also like to thank our other sponsors, of course, Razer and Philips. And of course, I'd like to say for the last time, thank you again, Trippy Costumes, for my awesome apparel. Do you have anybody you'd like to greet?
Well, I'd like to greet my fans at home, if I have any.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to thank, of course, all our viewers for watching. We really appreciate you guys tuning into the PGS. We still have a lot of action. We're only in the midway of the PGS. We still have about 3 more weeks of PGS, and of course tomorrow another 2 games. And I'd also like to thank, of course, our moderators, Job Serenity, and of course GG Reg, who's actually doing the moderating right now. And I'd also thank, of course, M. Raken for joining us tonight. Thank you again for joining us once again for shoutcasting another 2 games from the PGS. We will be coming live again at 5 PM tomorrow, and thank you for watching and have a good night.
Good night.